Chapter 1. A long time ago, a queen sat at a window sewing. Outside the window, the snow was falling from the sky. The window was made of black wood. While she was sewing, she pricked her finger with the needle. The red blood fell on the white cloth. The blood looked pretty on the cloth. She thought to herself, I want to have a child as white as snow, with lips as red as blood. Soon she had a little daughter who was as white as snow. Her lips were as red as blood, so she was called Little Snow White. But when the child was born, the queen died. Chapter 2. After a year had passed, the king took another wife for himself. She was a beautiful woman, but proud and arrogant. She had a fantastic magic mirror. It told the truth. She stood in front of the magic mirror and said, Magic mirror on the wall, who is the most beautiful woman in the world? The magic mirror answered, My queen, you are the most beautiful woman in the world. Then she was happy. But Snow White grew up. When she was 17 years old, she was more beautiful than the queen. One morning, the queen asked the mirror, Magic mirror on the wall, who is the most beautiful woman in the world? The magic mirror answered, My queen, Snow White is more beautiful than you. Then the queen was shocked and turned red. When she looked at Snow White, she sighed deeply. The queen hated Snow White so much. She had no peace. She called a hunter and said, Take the child into the forest and kill her. The hunter took her away. He drew his knife and tried to kill her. She began to weep and said, Let me have my life. I will never come home again. The hunter felt sorry for her and said, Run away, poor child. But he thought, There is no need to kill her. The wild beasts will eat her soon. And as a little bear just came running to the hunter, he killed it instead of Snow White. Chapter 3. Now the poor child was all alone in the forest. She looked at the trees and she did not know what to do. Then she began to run again. When the night came and Snow White began to cry loudly, she felt scary eyes spying on her, and she heard strange sounds. Finally, she fell asleep under a tree. The morning came. The sound of the birds came to the forest. Snow White woke up too. The forest was beautiful. Snow White was not afraid anymore. However, the trees were like a wall around her, and she tried to find a way out. Snow White found a path. She walked along it. She came to a clearing. There was a small house with a small door and small windows. Everything about the house was very small. Snow White pushed the door open. Everything in the house was small. There was a white cloth on the table. 7 little plates, 7 little spoons, 7 little knives, and 7 little forks were on the table. There were 7 white beds. Chapter 4. Snow White was so hungry and thirsty. She ate some bread from each plate and drank some juice from each cup. Then, because she was so tired, she laid herself down on one of the little beds. But one bed was too long, and another bed was too short. Finally, Snow White found the right one. She said a prayer and went to sleep. When it was quite dark, the owners of the house came back. They were 7 dwarfs who were miners. They saw that someone had been there because everything was moved around. The 7 dwarfs said, "Someone has been eating our food and using our forks." Then the first dwarf looked around and saw his bed. "Someone has been in my bed." The other dwarfs came over and each of them said, "Someone was lying in my bed too." But the 7th dwarf said, "Someone is sleeping in my bed." He called the others and they cried out with wonder, "Oh my, what a lovely young lady." They did not wake her up. They let her sleep. The 7th dwarf slept in another bed. The next morning, the dwarfs asked, "Who are you?" Snow White told them her sad story. One of them said, "Stay here with us." "Yay!" they cheered, dancing around the young lady. The dwarfs said to Snow White, "You can live here and take care of the house. Don't worry about the queen. We love you. We will take care of you." Snow White accepted their kind offer. The next morning, the dwarfs left for work. They told Snow White not to open the door for people she did not know. Chapter 5. At the same time, the hunter returned to the castle. He told the queen Snow White was dead. He asked for the reward. The queen was very pleased. She spoke again to the magic mirror. But the magic mirror said, "The most beautiful woman in the land is Snow White." The queen was so angry. She was overwhelmed. "She must die. She must die," she cried out. The queen changed herself to look like a poor old woman. She put a poisoned apple in her basket. She went quickly into the forest. She crossed the swamp. She arrived at the house. At the same time, Snow White waved goodbye to the 7 dwarfs. Snow White heard a knock at the door. "Knock, knock." "Who's there?" she asked. "I'm a poor old woman selling apples," the voice said. "I don't need any apples, thank you," Snow White said. "But they are beautiful, juicy apples," said the voice from outside the door. "I can't open the door for anyone," said Snow White. Very right. Well done. You can't open the door for strangers, so you can't buy anything. You are a good girl. Then the old woman said, As a reward for being good, I will give you an apple as a gift. Snow White opened the door just a tiny bit to take the apple. Look, that's a good apple. Snow White bit into the fruit. She fell to the ground. The evil queen left in a hurry, but when she crossed the swamp, she tripped and fell in. No one heard her. No one helped her. She disappeared. Chapter 6. At the same time, the sky was dark. There was a flash of lightning in the sky. There was loud thunder. The dwarfs worried about Snow White. They ran to the house quickly. They found Snow White at the house, lying there. They found the poisoned apple. They cried and cried for a long time. They laid her on a bed of roses. They carried her into the forest. They put a flower there every day. One evening, a young man came to the forest. The young man was a prince. He saw Snow White lying there. He heard her story. He said, I will take her to my castle to get help from a doctor. The prince saw her again. He said, She's beautiful. I wish I could kiss her. He did. The kiss broke the spell. Snow White opened her eyes. She was alive again. The prince asked Snow White to marry him. The dwarfs said goodbye to Snow White. Snow White was so happy to live in a big castle. She liked to visit her friends in the forest.